Good time, just the boys. A little drinking, a little gambling, a little watching old movies that we liked. Casino Royale we watched. Made fun of the poker and made jokes. It was good. I had a good time. But I don't feel all that well. So I wasn't going to stream today, but then I figured Ari's still not home yet. What am I going to do? Sit around? So might as well go live, have a little fun. Maybe watch some, react to some stuff. Get some more Saturdays. See how you guys are doing. Watching the stream from Singapore, your schedule finally meshes with mine. Really? Because this is my normal schedule every day. I mean, unless I'm skipping. But if I go live, it's always this time. So I don't know why you think my schedule fully changed. This is like literally the normal time. I'm not early. I'm not late. Alpharad commended your Mario 64 cannon full strat. You have a clip? I mean, game recognized game, you understand? I pioneered the cannon full strat in Mario 64. I am old enough to have actually been there when speedrunning strats were created for that game, and I had to make easier ones for me. Like, I literally was there. Yeah, I was there before there was a speedrun.com, bro. I used to fucking I mean, I lived in Germany with no fucking English-speaking friends, bro. I would watch Mario 64 speedruns on my iPod video. Want to run a marathon with me in April? Nothing crazy, just having some fun with the fans. Yeah, I do, for sure. You take the first 26 miles, and I'll do the rest. All right? You take the first 26, I'll finish it up. Milestone, thank you for the 1 month. Crumkey Lee, thank you for the 10 gifted. Wow, wowzers. Wowsies. I need that because the Vegas trip, the casino didn't. Bro, can I tell you about this casino? It's probably not interesting content. Because I have personally said that nobody wants to hear about somebody else's bad beat in a casino. Nobody cares. So I'm just going to say this. I'm going to say one by piece. Why in the fuck does the casino in San Jose charge you a tax every hand you play? Every hand at every table in the casino was like, all right, that costs you $1. No matter what. It was a $1 tax to play a hand. That is fucked. That's fucked, dude. That means even if I'm winning, I could be losing. It's like, it's literally, it's blackjack, right? So I'm already losing. The casino's already favored. And then every time I make a bet, they're like, all right, it costs you $1. I was about to scream. It made me so mad. I was like, this is such a rigged system. And then we played fucking, what was it? It was like, Texas Hold'em versus the dealer or whatever. It's not like a normal poker game, but it's like, whatever. And they had so many rules that made the house always win. So there was one rule where if the dealer gets a really bad hand, they can nobody gets paid out. If the dealer's hand is like super bad, it's just like, no, it doesn't count. Like, you can only beat me if I have a decent hand. What the fuck are you talking about? You already are favored and you're charging me $1 to play, and then you get a fucking surrender if you don't make a pair or something? I was furious, dude. I was actually furious. I was fucking mad. I was mad. So we all were down, dude. We were all down. Everybody, I don't know if anyone made it out alive. Maybe Toph made like $50. It was fucked, but we had a good time. It was called Casino Matrix, if you want to know wherever not to go. But it was funny because we were in the group chat, and we were all night. We were like, all right, we're going to meet up at the Matrix. We're going to meet at Casino Matrix, whatever. And Mango, who flew in late, last minute flew in at like 10 p.m. And he landed with 1% battery. And he's reading the group text. He's like, I got 1%. I'm on my way. Where do I need to go? And he thought that we were saying the Matrix. It was like a joke. He thought we were doing some Andrew Tate shit. But it was called Casino Matrix. So he literally couldn't find. He was like, his phone dies. He has no fucking idea where to go. Thank God he eventually fucking rando Googles it. After getting big into Hitman, I found your channel 2 months ago, and your videos really helped me when I'm having a bad day. So my first stream, thanks for doing it. No problem. Welcome to the stream. I gotta be honest with you guys. This is not gonna be a stream with a lot. I will play a little Hitman today, maybe. I did want to do one more elusive target because there's a new one, and then I could package them both together into one extra elusive video. I was thinking about doing that. Anyway, I am feeling my brain cells have rotted from this weekend of birthday celebrations with Bobby Scar. People's Champion chat. And so I will be trying to get smarter today. Today's goal is to get smarter. And that means I need suggestions. Oh, God. He made it bigger. I need suggestions on amazing videos that will make us smarter. And if you just put them in chat, they will pop up right here. And then I will pick one and we will watch it. And then our goal will be to get smarter. There are 3 rules before you submit a video. Rule 1 is the video can't be too boring. Rule 2 is the video can't be too long. I'm already seeing a 36-minute one here that makes me a little nervous. And then rule number 3 is at the end of the video, we have to have learned something. That is the goal, is that we learn something. It can't just be pure entertainment, you know? The Among Us effect. I doubt we're going to learn a lot from that. Why the balloon chipper is not coming to Bloons TD 6. I have to know.
The balloon chipper was a huge mistake, and Ninja Kiwi says that there are regrets for adding it because it's so hard to balance. So I thought I'd go back to BTD5 for one video and see what made it so broken. Now, just to get everyone up to speed, towers in BTD5 only have 2 paths and 4 upgrades in total, and these are the balloon chipper's upgrades. The left upgrade path has the sucker upgrade, which allows you to suck balloons in faster, the heavy duty suction, which allows you to pop lead balloons, the dual layer blades, which makes you do 2 damage instead of 1, and the super white funnel, which allows you to suck in more upgrades.
How does a 2-minute video have this much intro?
Balloons. More on this one later. The right upgrade path gives range, faster shredding,
long range
and
suck,
an ability called Super Vac, which sucks all nearby balloons and it keeps them there for the duration. So why was this so busted? Well, first off, the tier 4 left path upgrade can suck in more class balloons. This upgrade costs only $4,500 and it almost.
This should be a 30-minute video.
BFBs take 2 rounds to get popped and ZOMGs take a little bit more. The other
Wait, it just sucks in the BFB.
No pierce limit and it
this
sucks
is so
everything
stupid.
around it and it keeps it there for the duration for the price of $6,000. So what was the problem? Well, the balloon chipper is not a damage, but it's a stalling tower. It has this feature where the balloons it sucks get thrown at the back of the tower, but they're still targetable by other towers, like my son Avatar is doing right here. I think the tier 4 left path completely destroying mobs in 1 second is straight up busted,
ridiculous.
and the closest thing we have to do.
All right, I get it. It's broken. Making me want to watch the Pop-a-thon video again. It's a good time. It's actually just such a great edited video, and you get all the songs with the lyrics, so it's pretty fun. Wait, an actual Hitman reacting to Hitman 3? Actually, I'm interested.
These are smart hits, and it can be done if that guy, you know he's going to hit that ball every time. Yeah, that's what I would have did. That's the technique.
Dude, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, bro. There ain't no hits in Hitman that are like real life. Bro, this guy is, don't say that's what I would have did. Yeah, I would have fucking parachuted into a Dubai tower and then fucking taken a disguise. What the fuck are you talking about, bro? If you were a hitman, you fucking shot a guy in Jersey. He didn't do this. Let me see.
These are smart hits, and it can be done if that guy, you know he's going to hit that ball every time.
Nobody in real life ever. I want you to find me one example in real life ever of someone setting up an explosive golf ball where a rich CEO is about to golf, and it doesn't happen, bro. That's not a real kill. It's not.
Yeah, that's what I would have did. That's the technique. There's nothing he can do about it. He's not even looking. Give him a quick push. He's done. Here we are again today for Experts React. I'm John Elite, ex-Hitman of the Gambino family. Check out Hitman 3. Let's do it.
Talk it down.
This is great. Anytime I see...
Bro, have him watch Toothless run. I want to see the fucking Gambino Deathlord react to fucking Tupla violin boosting to sky.
something like this, where they know somebody sitting there, they're doing something, they're vulnerable, and you can do something quietly and get out of there fast, especially with drinks. If somebody is good at what they're doing, this is what they'll do.
What are you talking about?
It would be something with a pill, with a drink, with a shot, with arsenic or something when they're walking by you and they don't realize in the crowd. If you could do something like that, that's the way to do it now.
Target down.
These are all good hits. These are hits where it's done quietly and without a lot of detection, keeping it very simple, without any noise, without...
That's what I used to wear, too. I used to wear a wetsuit with a katana strapped across my back when I would do the Gambino crime family hits.
A big scene. So far, I really like the way they're handling this game. Again, it's good. He's in higher ground. He's up top, very quiet. Found a location, whether it's through a window, through a skylight, and nobody spots him, and he's out. Another good hit.
I've never done this
Now I know
kill.
why they call this game.
I didn't even know she fell
Assassination
asleep.
3. They're good. Good also, again, it's quiet, it's technology. You don't need to use a gun like people think or a knife. You know, same with air conditioning systems, house systems. You have carbon dioxide that kill people silently. That's no different.
Well, it's a little different because he's literally...
Ventilation system, you got to breathe air. So if you poison that air quality, it's a quiet hit. Nobody knows what happens. Very hard to detect and even check how they died. So
Target down. Well done, 47.
good hit.
Good hit. Good hit.
If you're coming in quiet like that, fairly easy to leave the crime scene because the way you got in from whatever information you got, whether you broke alarm systems or you came in through a cut fence or through grounds that don't have a fence, obviously he knew what he was doing. He got in there, so whatever way you came in, you're coming out the same way. And if you're not making any noise or tripping alarms, it's fairly easy. You got to remember that you're doing it at your pace, your time is done real well, whether it was by him or somebody counterpart.
You know the boss. Belt and suspenders.
So what about katana through the
That
back?
I didn't like. I mean, I wouldn't use a garrote because of DNA. Touching the body, you're leaving DNA. Picking up the body and moving, it's not necessary. Even if they're going to find her, they're going to find her in 1 second after that. If they come in the bathroom looking for her, they're going to look around to try to find her anyway. So,
What, you're telling me that in real life, if you dump a body in the conveniently placed crate nearby, they actually find it? You're telling me that they look more than 2 seconds around and they find it?
cool scene. I just wouldn't use the
That's bullshit, bro.
Target down.
That also, I wouldn't use it. If you're in there already, you need to do something quiet. That makes noise. If you're going to electrocute, there's going to be screaming and yelling, and there's going to be a shortage with the electric outlet. So I wouldn't have did it that way.
Target down. Well done, 47.
In the mob world, you don't really get a bounty on somebody, but in the street, you do. Hits that I've seen in Europe where they're offering up to $2 million with guys, and I think that's realistic depending on what the guy is doing and kind of money he's making. So they do offer them up. 100,000 is usually a number you hear from different hits around the world and different places.
Wait, I'm in
It's
the
not
wrong business,
unrealistic
dude. I'm
to see
making
that.
videos about video game hitmen. $2 million? All I gotta do is kill somebody in Europe where it doesn't even count? Did you hear what he said? Hits in Europe for $2 million. It's not even a person. It's like it's a European, bro. Easy clap. All I gotta do is feed them a nice tasty cheeseburger and they'll fucking... Their arteries are instantly clogged because they haven't built up the resistance over the years that we have.
Kind of money being asked.
Target down.
That's what I was saying earlier. See, it's quiet, it's fast, it's one movement, and you're
It's
out.
a katana.
Stuff like that, it's realistic. And
That's not...
the game.
What are you talking about? You're in the Gambino crime family. You came in and you sliced up someone with a katana? That was your move?
Itself, it's pretty cool. I would never move the body again. Doesn't make sense. He's dragging blood anyway, and that blood's going to come across the room. They're going to come and look.
I do agree that, like, if you just chopped her up with a katana, Hitman is very lenient that you can just drag that body and there's no evidence. But I feel like there would be a little bit of a trail.
Good for her anyway. DNA, I wouldn't touch it.
Target down.
Throwing the knife, if you're a knife expert, yeah, it's good. If you're not a knife expert, just go up to the body. You're there anyway. It's 5 more steps. And if it's time of the essence thing, you're going up there and dragging the body anyway. So you might as well just get up close. Again, for the game, it's something different. I like it. I mean, it's action. It's moving. It's fast. I like it.
See, I feel like I wouldn't like it because this is his day job. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why do you want to unwind after killing people all day by doing fake kills? Do you know what I'm saying? He's also giving direct advice on how to murder people in real life. I hope we're analyzing the fact that this guy's giving direct advice on how to murder.
Nitroglycerin, I mean, if there's several targets, no different than throwing a smoke grenade or something. And you...
I get the sense that this guy is an Italian person they found. What are you talking? There's just no way you did this many actual methods of killing. Nitroglycerin bombs? I think you got a fucking Italian person and just said, let's run with it. Who's going to know?
You want to hit 3 or 4 people? Yeah, it's good. But as far as if you're trying to get in and out of there quietly and there's other security, it's bad. But for the game purpose, it's another way to assassinate somebody. It's actually would be used somewhere if there's several people that you got to hit at once. You would use some sort of bomb. It's pretty good.
Shuriken?
Well done, 47.
Don't tell me you've ever used a shuriken. Please. Please, bro.
I don't know if that's throwing a star or something like that, but if you miss the target, it's a problem. She's going to scream and yell, and she had security right there, so I'm not with throwing anything.
Okay.
Yeah, you might as well do it the right way while you're there, but you don't leave it to chance. Drowning's a good way. It's quiet. In this, she gave a little yelp. If you catch him unsuspecting and you get him in the water immediately. If
Jesus
you go
Christ.
houses, which you can. It's a lot
Jesus
stronger,
Christ.
there wouldn't be any noise.
Jesus Christ, bro. Those guys drowned somebody.
These are perfect hits. I'm not a sniper, but I got friends that are snipers that are, in armed forces. So if you're across another building and say it's not occupied and you can get into another apartment and hit somebody like that, and you're an expert, it's very, very hard. They just did that hit actually in Europe about 2 years ago. Somebody was an expert sniper and they wore women's clothes and heels and went into a building on a rooftop and hit 3 guys. It's still done, and if you're that good.
Why did they wear women's clothes and heels if they were in the adjacent building? What if they just wanted to? Good for them. I mean, they still kill people for money, but okay, at least they're free spirited. At least they didn't let anybody tell them they could wear. I respect that, I guess.
And there's a lot of snipers that are that good. Great way to hit somebody, not get caught.
Target down. Well done, 47.
They should show them kills from the other.
I'm not so much for throwing anybody off a balcony unless it's 10 stories or better. Also because of the noise factor, also because you're upstairs, you got to come down. So if there's not that many exits to leave from, they could cover those exits if they have a lot of security quickly. If you know somebody's going to touch that railing every day or lean on it, yeah, it's good. The odds of getting somebody to do that every day and know they're going to do that and not somebody else, then they know that there's going to be a hit on them. If somebody else leans on that or dies from that, not the person that you tended. So I'm not for that hit either. But for the it's a good hit. It's scary and it's unique. So it was cool in its own way.
Yes.
Good.
If they were going to do it like that and they're walking with him anyway and he's still going to use a gun, should have just shot him.
That's a good point. If you're going to walk next to him and you've got a pistol and you got a shot at the back of his head, yeah, you probably don't need to set up an elaborate electrocution trap. But the thing you don't understand, okay, is that it wouldn't be an accident kill, Mr. Gambino. You even call yourself a real hitman. Then you wouldn't have green guns. And you wouldn't get 5 stars. And how are you going to get paid the bonus? Dumbass. This guy doesn't know shit about being a hitman. I swear to God.
Got him right while he's standing there next to him.
This guy probably had red guns on every fucking hit.
I don't know what that was, if he was involved and he was security for him, or he snuck in and did that. So if he's security for him, I understand the kill like that, because that's his opportunity. It doesn't matter because he's security with them inside. But if he snuck in and did that, again, he's on an upper level. He's got to get out. There's yelling going on. There's much time to get out of the building. It gives other security to be able to catch him. So I'm not for that.
No, you're wrong. Again, wrong again. That's an accident kill. If they find the body, they just go, oh, what a horrible accident. Okay? So you don't understand anything. And plus, I'm wearing the outfit of the guard, so I can walk in and out as I please and nobody investigates. Dumbass. Doesn't know shit about fucking shit.
I would have just pushed him. He's in there. He's in security with them anyway. Just walk up to him and push him. Unless you're a complete expert with that knife, it's not necessary to do it that way. Yeah, that's what I would have did. I said earlier, right? So that's the technique. If you're gonna, he's there. There's nothing he can do about it. He's not even looking. You give him a quick push, he's done.
Yeah,
what
kick
I said
really.
earlier, I guess they had the same opinion. Again, he's taking things to chance. He shot if he misses the shot. If the timing's not right, the speaker don't fall at him. If you're going to use the gun, why you just shooting him anyway? So I would just use the gun.
He doesn't get
That's
it,
what they're
bro.
gonna do, but not that.
He doesn't
that, again,
get it.
is, for a real hit's ridiculous, but for a game, it's just something different. So I get
It's
it.
in a game to me.
This is a good hit, again, because this is new technology. If you know he's the one that's going to eat that food and you poison it or his drink, there's nothing
Facts.
you can do about that. And it's 100% you got him. And it's
Facts.
done quietly, and the team is involved, obviously. Everybody's there. It depends on what the situation is. You know, if somebody's in a bar and they're drinking, you don't want it to be quick. You want them to drink the drink, doesn't feel well, and meanwhile the poison's working, and they got to go back. There's maybe no more cameras of whoever was in there.
This guy's definitely killed people. I mean, I take it back. I mean, this guy's definitely killed people. Sounds like with drowning and with poisoning. So
when it happened. So in this situation, it looks like it's an inside job from everybody sitting there. Maybe it's not. So I
still a
wouldn't want
casual.
to
Don't get me
poison
wrong, but
like arsenic like that quick.
he's played
We'd want
it.
slow
He's
acting.
played a game.
2 days, 3 days, 4 days.
He's killed 34 people, bro. In the average run of Hitman, I kill like fucking 40 to 50, and they're world leaders in different cities across the world. He's probably killed fucking 30 guys in Jersey. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a different class of Hitman. I just don't want to. I'm not trying to be fucking big dog, and I'm sure he's putting fucking work in, but let's be real here.
Somebody was up top, knew he was coming there, and they cut that line somehow, or they knew he was going to stand there. Yeah, it'd be a little more realistic to do that with a gunshot again.
I took down Providence.
You're taking that he's not
The
gonna
Illuminati.
move. Taking it that one shot is going to make that come down.
You got him, 47.
I love these hits like that with a little more intelligence, because those are realistic. If you know somebody's...
No, dude. No, it is not realistic that you got two members of the Illuminati to panic and then base jump out of the top of a Dubai tower, but secretly you sliced their parachutes ahead of time. You haven't done that. Nobody's done that. You know what would be a fun video, though? Is the 10 craziest hits in real life. Like, do a little research and go through the craziest actual assassinations. That would be kind of fun to see, and then see if any of them are possible in the game. It's actually kind of a hype idea. No, I'm not going to talk about JFK. It'd be interesting. I might look into it.
Parachuting all the time, and you jimmy his parachute where it's not going to work, or double parachute. It can be done, and it's done in a smart way, and no one can really prove it. On top of that, it'd be hard to prove if you're smart on the way you did it. So I like those kind of hits. Brings you back into a new era. These are smart hits.
No.
If you're able and you're a bomb savvy guy, you know how to put one together, and a little bomb like that, yeah, it's kind of cool. Because it's something different, and it can be done if that guy, you know he's going to hit that ball.
No shot, dude.
We got him,
I don't care that it
47.
can be done. It's never
Final
happened.
Daughters, I like this game, actually. I thought it was well done. They had a lot of different things in it. I like the way they brought it across.
All right, you know what?
So
I like this
would
game
play
too,
this
brother.
game.
We're on the
I
same
enjoyed
page.
this one. Thank
We're
you,
on the same
everybody.
page. We're on the same page. I like this game too. He's all right. You know, yeah, he killed 30 or 40 people for the mob, but who hasn't in their past? You know what I'm saying? Let he who has not committed assassination throw the first stone. Would you do a video with him? What would the video be? What he just did, but with even more insane strategy? So he goes, no, I don't think they're going to do that. No, Atrioc, I don't think they'd stand on a muffin to shoot a sniper across Colorado. No, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. No. Oh, he kills me. That'd be a good video. I get murdered by an actual hitman. My thumbnail face. People mocked Google for buying Motorola. It was their best acquisition. I don't believe it was their best acquisition. Actually, I have a great video on this. And I don't think that Motorola is better than Android or YouTube. But Motorola was probably a good acquisition. I mean, you could look at... I actually looked at Google's... the breakdown of where their profits come from. I looked at it like 2 days ago. I might still have it, actually. Let me see. Thought it was a very, very good chart. And just a massive... I mean, it's still mostly search, which comes from their acquisition of DoubleClick. But also YouTube is fucking... There it is. I actually found it right here. Sheesh, my notes. Oh, Mr. Notes. This is Google. This is their revenue. But $257 billion is what they made in 2021, which is crazy. $257 billion in revenue. Mostly search. Number 2 is YouTube. Number 3 is their AdSense manager. So that really ties back into this. Then Google Play. So this is $28 billion from like... All this, so they own Fitbit. I forgot that. Fitbit, Nest, Pixel, YouTube Premium, Play Store. Google Cloud is a growing business. Fast growing, $20 billion. And then nothing else. So everything else you hear through Google doing, Google Glass, Google's balloon stuff, Google, all the moonshots, all of them made approximately dick. They made no fucking money. Everything Google does is funded by basically search and YouTube, which has only recently become profitable. Stadia, big flop. Like almost everything Google has tried to do that isn't in their core businesses has been an absolute flizzop. Anyway, cost of sales. You could usually merge these two just to get operating profit. These are all the costs of doing businesses, like employee salaries and events you throw and factories, and this is all part of that. Cost of sales, operating business. So operating profit, they made $78 billion of profit. Then they paid a tiny bit of taxes. And they made $76 billion total. Their biggest loss is actually hidden to the cost of... Is that good? $76 billion of profit, is that good? I just want to make sure you're asking the right question. Are you wondering if a company making $76 billion of profit in a single year, profit, after paying everything, after all employees and headquarters and factories and expense, every possible expense, and after taxes, you have $76 billion left over that you didn't have before? Is that good or no? No, yeah, it's good. It's very good. It's one of the few companies in the world that could claim that. Is profit? Yes, it is profit. It is after everything. Even after tax, which means there's just it's strings free money. Where does that $76 billion go? So for most companies, the point of after tax profit is to be distributed to shareholders. But for tech companies and a lot of companies recently, they've sort of switched the system to where they never pay it out and they just always hold on to the cash and reinvest it in something else. So it'll probably go to acquiring more companies, to R&D, to paying out bonuses to salaries so they can keep better talent. It's sort of the Amazon business they pioneer, which is like they if you're an Amazon investor, they never give you any of the profits, but they keep growing so much that the value of your stock goes up. So it's like, so you're still happy. But normally you'd buy a business, you buy a piece of stock in a business, and your goal is to get like cash, like dividends. Like you buy Coca-Cola stock, they pay you cash. Coca-Cola makes a bunch of money. They pay all their employees. They have a little bit left over, whatever left over. They distribute that. They split it up amongst all the shareholders, and you get a little dividend. That's like what companies used to do. But then tech companies kind of innovated the way where it's like giving it back to you is wasteful. We just keep growing. That seems dumb as hell. I mean, it's worked remarkably well, right? Dividends are worse for you anyway. What do you mean? Like health-wise? Dividends are like fucking bad cholesterol. It's money. It's money that they give you. I work for Amazon. 40% of my income is bonus and RSU. I also work for Amazon. I sort of work for Amazon right now if you think about Twitch. But yeah, same thing. Except I had more RSUs than bonus. Actually, the problem is, the real problem is, so I was pretty low paid at Twitch before it was acquired. I think I've openly said it. I was making like $45K when I first started Twitch. But Twitch was a small company. I was employee 100. It was a startup. And I had a lot of shares. I got a pretty healthy amount of Twitch shares that got converted 1-to-1. This is part of the deal of the acquisition, which was pretty sick. All my Twitch shares were converted 1-to-1 to Amazon shares. Which was like an absolutely fucking crazy deal. Because Amazon shares... And again, at the time, I'm going to show you. I've shown that. Again, I'm trying to paint a story here. This is like when it happened, right? Right around here. So like this, I got all the Amazon shares here, and then I sold them like fucking here. But the point is, every single year, Amazon would go up, and I had all these shares. And so people that were there before the acquisition, Amazon gave them 0 bonuses because they knew that we made out like fucking bandits on the deal. And so listen, I mean, they were so fucking stingy with anyone who was pre-ac. And then like I would ask for fucking, people would ask for raises. Not even me. I actually didn't because I was fucking, I ended up getting a raise, but you'd ask for raises and it would be like, well, your stock went up. That's a raise. Like the stock that you had from 3 years ago is worth more. So that's a raise. So like, legitimately they used that because it was such a windfall. I'm not saying I didn't get, like, it was actually a lottery winning windfall. So I'm not fucking, I'm not greedy about it, but it made no sense that they were still talking about that when it's like, okay, but I'm doing a different job now. I should get, which is illegal in California. Is it now or was it then? Either way, I mean, yeah, that's what they did, bro. How much was Twitch share pre-acquisition? It's not a public company. Twitch is a private company that got bought out. So Twitch's shares didn't have any real value. It's just splitting up the company among all the people. So like, the CEO might have 1 million shares and I might have fucking 20,000, whatever, like that, we all have pieces of the company. There's 100 employees. And then it gets bought and then they decide a value on it and then you get a piece of that value. Don't you have a strike price for eternal options? I probably did, but I was 20-1. I didn't know shit about shit, and I signed on the dotted line, bro. They shouldn't have given me a single share. Bro, they should not have given me a single motherfucking share. I would have signed for fucking $8 an hour to work at Twitch, bro. I would have done whatever. But they fucking gave me engineer stuff. Mewball, thank you for the 2 months. Sup, Big A, loving the content and you on the reads. Getting my tech ass out of the Bay Area this year. I heard the most common tech job starting like right now is actually the growth in tech jobs is happening outside of Silicon Valley. And it's all of these companies, like just healthcare companies based all over America. They're just hiring tech workers that are leaving Silicon Valley. Is basically what I'm saying. There's like cushy in-house tech jobs at every company that's non-tech. How are the number of shares decided pre-acquisition if there's no value? Well, again, they have some value based on how much money the company has raised. Realistically, whenever the company raises money, it's at a certain valuation. So if Sequoia Capital comes in and they give you $10 million for 10%, what they're implying is that you have a $100 million valuation. That's the implication. Is if they're paying $10 million for 10%, but the company hasn't actually gone public yet, so there's no, so there is some sort of valuation. But in general, what you're doing is just giving how much of a piece of the company they have. Ba, ba, ba. Ba, ba. glizzy dog about to go hog wild. Now, there's a good message. There's too many messages about shares and strike prices, and you know, I was hoping for a real good quality message. As a proud Cryptozoo director, I'd like to talk to you about an amazing opportunity. Is my food here? Holy God in heaven, please let it be here. I'm so fucking hungry and I feel a little sick. I would kill. My food is here. Okay, relax. We got to put on a video. What do you guys want to watch while I get my pho ready? Because I ordered some pho. Let's see. How one guy sold the world on an $80 used tissue. That sounds actually interesting. Chainsaw Man's author is insane. Let's rank every boss in Hollow Knight. That's a good looking. Wow. Look at this charismatic host. Hijacking and murder in global shipping's grim underbelly. Sounds kind of interesting. 200 unique Sigma male affirmations for 8 hours. Perfect. This is what you guys need. Perfect.
There's a powerful intensity in my eyes that other men around me lack. I have a fire in my eyes. I decide the rules of my inner and outer kingdom. I reign over the empire I've created. I am a loner, and this gives me strength, courage, and authenticity. I am a lone, dangerous lion. I can walk across a savanna full of packs of hyenas without a moment of doubt or hesitation. I value my opinion over the opinions of others. I am in competition with my previous self, no one else. I am dominant.
You guys feeling good? that pump you up? I am the lion. Holy shit! I don't know what I missed, but sounds like it probably didn't help the world. Let's see. What can we watch while I do this? XQC's New Year's resolutions. Well, one of them is to beat Minecraft. You already did that. Good shit, King. Get on it. The Weird World of CSGO Surf Games. Gaming for a non-gamer. Better Than Brad. I remade Brad Pitt's coffee commercial. What?
Today, we're remaking Brad Pitt's coffee commercial, and if I'm completely honest, things have gotten a little out of hand.
This guy's the coffee goat.
Let me explain how all this came to pass. Now, you may be familiar with Fiverr. It's an enormous marketplace for kind of digital services. And they actually approached me and said, hey, do you know that we do a load for businesses? And say, you could crew a film shoot with people from Fiverr, with professionals from Fiverr. And I didn't know that. And they said, if we give you a budget, what would you make if you had to make something beautiful? And I thought about it for a minute, and I thought, well, what about if we remade the Brad Pitt coffee commercial? And in that moment, that seemed like a fun thing to do. And I did not understand what an incredibly complex and enormous task I had signed up for. But Fiverr said, yes, here's some budget.
This
go
isn't
and hire
ad
some
so
people,
far.
Go and make a thing. And that is what we did. Now, I did say, right at the start of this thing, that this shoot got a little bit out of hand. And if I'm honest, it did so in a number of different ways, some more hilarious than others. Let me, or past me, explain in a bit more detail.
Now, we don't have a Pacific Coast Highway in England. We have Beachy Head, which is where we are today. And when I say like we've got Beachy Head, we've got Beachy Head. Like, we're gonna close the road to film on that. I didn't know that was allowed. I didn't think someone who makes like coffee YouTube videos was allowed to close roads. But apparently, if you do the paperwork and you pay the sort of fees, yeah, you can close a road. And so we're gonna film with a tracking vehicle, which is this big old vehicle behind me over there. We're gonna film crew on there, you know, the bike, beautiful coastline, and that, I feel like, is an adequate substitute for the Pacific Coast Highway. This feels like a lot. I don't know. I didn't think at any point in my career this would be how my day would go.
I will say that now, if you haven't seen the original...
This guy's hype, is what you're saying? Everyone seems hyped when they see this guy. What's his deal? He does commercials or something? What is his, or he's a coffee YouTuber?
Brad Pitt DeLonghi coffee commercial, now is a good time to watch it.
He's
There's
a
link
coffee
down
cow.
in the description.
Love that.
Or if you wish for a layer of more entertainment,
He's really into
I made a
coffee.
video
Okay.
about it, kind of going through a kind of reaction to it, because it was such an incredibly entertaining video, and that's linked down in the description below. Watching that one will help when you watch my version of it, because a few more things will make sense. Let's go back to what exactly I had committed to do. That Brad Pitt coffee commercial is directed by Damien Chazelle. He is a Oscar-winning Hollywood director. It's a Hollywood commercial, right? And I was like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it in just 2 days. And that's ambitious. And in fact, everyone I spoke to was like, this you would maybe want to do as like a 4-day shoot. And I was like, no, we're going to do it as a 2-day shoot. And that, it turned out, was doomed to failure. Obviously, we couldn't have the size of crew that the original sort of production had. And if you actually go and watch the behind the scenes of that, you can sort of see little snippets of kind of how much production
There's a
went
behind the
into
scenes.
that
I
coffee
gotta see
commercial.
this. I'm sorry. I gotta see this first commercial. I can't understand what's going on until I've seen what he's trying to make. Brad Pitt coffee commercial. I have to see this first. I'm sorry. Because I need to understand what the fuck's going on. This commercial has 3.5 million views. Brad Pitt gets on a motorcycle and starts driving along the coast. And then there's beans. And then he gets the beans and he says thanks with a Brad Pitt smile. Then he gets his motorcycle tuned up. Okay. Alright, then he gasses up the motorcycle. He's having a good time.
Perfetto. DeLonghi, perfetto, from bean to cup.
All right, wow, legendary. Truly legendary. That was worth millions of dollars. And then he sips it, and he looks into the camera, and he gives that Oscar-worthy face. You definitely needed Damien Chazelle to make that. That was worth the cost of getting Oscar-winning director Damien Chazelle. So I don't think they could ever possibly match that, but we're going to find out. Let's see how they do on their version.
And as well, you can see just how many Brad bags there were. There was like a staggering number of Brad bags. Back to how we crewed this thing. Now, if you want to make a commercial, even at the smallest scale that we're kind of working at, then there are some really key roles that you needed to fill. And that's where Fiverr came in. So I went to Fiverr to start looking for the kind of key roles for this. And usually I direct a lot of the videos on this channel, I suppose. It seems a bit grand to call myself a director, but I would sort of fill that role here. With this project, I knew that I needed 2 key roles, one of which was director and the other was DOP, director of photography. These 2 were going to be absolutely crucial, and I feel like I really lucked out by finding Lightmail Media on Fiverr, who are a director and DOP duo, and they were the first people I spoke to and started to work with and kind of built a relationship with. They were amazing to work with. I'll say that throughout this. They were really great to work with. Ross and Chris, amazing, amazing people. So much fun. But we needed more crew. And so the next person you're going to need is going to be an AC, an assistant camera, or a first AC. And they're going to do things like pull focus, because, you know, Ross might be holding the camera, Chris might be directing. Someone else actually focuses the camera during the shot to make sure everything looks really good and helps out with kind of maintaining all the camera, doing all the kind of technical stuff alongside. We had a couple of different people, Nicola and Paige, both phenomenal people to find through Fiverr.
Bro, what
and
the
then we
fuck?
needed a gaffer. It's someone who's primarily concerned with lighting, controlling light. So yeah, Ed did tremendous work. You can have all the fancy equipment, all the fancy lenses, but light is this massive deal to make things look good. And you can judge for yourself just how good his work is.
I just want you to show me the stuff you're working on.
Restricted time and kind of...
Why this whole section shouldn't be in the video? This is so weird. Why is this 2 minutes of him listing people and how he got them on? This is like such an ad, dude.
Lastly, in kind of the key crew is going to be sound. Now, we added some more dialogue to this particular version of this thing. And in fact, well, it was more than just me doing some talking.
Somewhere here is a little cameo from a previous video you might remember.
For all of the sound stuff, which wasn't just dialogue recording, but also a lot of the sound that we captured during the shoot, we had Cam. Cam was amazing again to work with. Did a great job. We've got so much great sound from this thing. And sound is really, really, really super important when you're making videos, especially if you want them to look and feel kind of special. This was the core crew that set out to do this ridiculous thing. We might have pulled it off. We might actually have pulled this off, were it not for the outdoor film shoot's great natural nemesis, the British weather. Now, the way it worked is actually we shot out of sequence, and the first day of shooting, we shot inside all the kind of internal shots, and so that was the kind of apartment.
Bro, I feel like this is interesting as a concept, and he is doing everything in his power to make me not interested. And I'm sure everyone seemed hyped. I'm sure he's got some great videos, and maybe I'm not getting it. But I feel like this video is structured in such a way to make the viewer you're telling, not showing on everything.
Because we can't shoot today. There's too much rain. It's not safe to ride the bike. It's not safe to do a tracking shot. At 25 past 10 in the morning of a full day, we are done.
And this is where things started to get tricky. We needed to complete the shoot, and it meant we needed to film for a third day, which means we had to hire everyone for a third day. We had to hire equipment for a third day. We had to get permitting for the third day. And in true Hollywood fashion, this meant we were way behind schedule and way over budget.
You know what this ready? If there was like a 5-minute section right here, well, it showed me filling out the permits. If I could get a little cutaway to him filling out 2 or 3 hours of permits, that would like invest me a little bit more. Because I feel like that's the one thing that is missing, is I just want to know.
It meant that the third day of shooting really, 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 really had to go well.
So this is the first location for the day, and we came here last time and it wasn't good. It was not good. Today, the weather has smiled upon us. It's a beautiful day. We're in the middle of kind of nowhere, honestly, and that's kind of nice. Filming the kind of rural retreat at which I live, which is not a kind of California thing, but you'll see, it'll make sense. A bit late already this morning, a bit stressed. There's a lot to do today. I don't know how much we're gonna get done, but we'll find out. We have to get everything done. Oh, we've got to go, okay. I'm on the bike, okay.
Now, if you've watched the original, you probably have some questions, primarily around the motorbike. That commercial, it's a coffee commercial, is very motorbike centric.
Yes.
I should probably do some explaining on that front.
I'm not gonna surprise you by saying, I know nothing about motorbikes. I don't own a motorbike. I know nothing. And so there was really just one choice. I had to call Brad. And so I called Brad. And Brad has been amazing. So generous with his time, his knowledge. Not only did Brad agree to lend a bike for this production, Brad agreed to come down and give us his hands-on expertise.
Obviously.
For the shoot. He's here, Brad.
Hello, everybody.
This is Brad. He has a company called Jar Cards Coffee in London. Check him out. They're down below. And an amazing bike. Tell me about the bike.
The bike. It's a Harley Davidson. It's a chopper.
Nice.
It was built by a good friend of mine, Renee, who's got a place out in the Netherlands called Just Fubar Motorcycles. But yeah, it's a big, fast, powerful motorcycle.
Terrifying.
And I can't wait to see you on the back.
So he's riding. So you're playing the role of Brad Pitt.
Forgive me, but it had to be done. Anyway, we've filmed this whole thing, right? And we've got all the footage and I've cut it down, but that doesn't mean it's finished, because if you want things to be truly professional, then we need two more things. We need a soundtrack, because obviously we can't use the existing soundtrack. We don't have the license for that. And they're probably unlikely to grant it for a pastiche. And secondly, we need color grading. Because, you know, with a really nice camera, you'll capture loads of information, and that lets you kind of set a feel and a style and a tone. And obviously we had a reference material here. We had a kind of reference look from that first commercial. But England is not California. And so again, the color grade needed to make the whole thing feel kind of coherent. And for both of those things, again, we turned to Fiverr. And again, you can find loads
Oh, God
of
damn it, dude. Just let me see the commercial. I'm switching to the end. I can't anymore. I want to see it. Let me just show me the fucking commercial.
A little bit over a minute.
Okay.
Coffee beans. Sure, what kind? Fresh coffee beans. Okay.
My name is James.
Well, they did make it look quite professional. It looks good.
Perfetto.
That was the biggest waste of my time ever. And I've watched videos about fucking the lore of Coffee Cow. I've watched fucking some dumb shit. Don't regret it. Like and subscribe. Fire. Worse than the Garfield video? I didn't watch that. I stopped it, famously. Okay. We need to pull all the nosedive here. We need a fucking video that's gonna really hit. Baseball doesn't exist. No, this is foolish baseball. What the hell is this? Baseball doesn't exist is always good. The Great Crypto Scam. 54 minutes? Are you just listing everything in crypto? SpongeBob SquarePants skin theory sounds disgusting, weirdly. World's largest Beyblade powered by a chainsaw. Actually sounds hype. I didn't think videos are great, but it's so long. This clock was famous, but the internet ruined it. God's biblical kill count. I just want to see. I want to see the beginning.
It's no secret that the God of the Bible has a darker side. Throughout the Old Testament, God is responsible for a whole slew of natural disasters, from erasing life on Earth in a world-ending flood to unleashing devastating plagues of biblical proportions. Like it or not, God has a death toll. Question is, has anyone gone through the Bible and counted it? Armed with a calculator, a spreadsheet, and a King James version, I have done just that. I want to figure out how many people in the Bible can list God as a cause of death. Turns out, there is a precise number, and it's in the millions. It's a horrifying statistic, especially compared with Satan, who has a measly 10. But what does this mean? What's the explanation behind this figure? All this and more as we unravel God's biblical kill count. Our search begins in the Old Testament, the section of the
Bro, Satan has a lower kill count in the Bible than that fucking Hitman that was on stream earlier. That guy killed 30 people in his life in Jersey.
Bible that covers the history of Israel. Within these pages, you're never too far away from a biblical disaster. like when God engulfs an entire city in flames. This violent depiction of God has always fascinated me. It's so different to the peaceful God of the New Testament. I want to find an explanation for this behaviour, one that's rooted in the history of this book. But to know what we're dealing with, we need some numbers. How many people does God actually kill in the Bible? So I opened up a copy and began counting. It felt like going through a celebrity's Twitter feed and finding some unsavory things from the past. But instead of old tweets, it was the Old Testament. Here are some examples of what I found. And fire came out from the Lord and consumed 250 men.
Sheesh. Damn, he just roasted 250 of them alive.
Then the Lord sent poisonous serpents among the people, and they bit the people, so that many Israelites died. At midnight, the Lord struck down all the firstborn in the land of Egypt. I collected them into a single spreadsheet. This vast document records God's biblical death count. Each entry has a brief description and a corresponding biblical verse. I'm not the first to attempt this, by the way. I've relied at times on the work of Steve Wells, an author whose book and website contain a meticulously thorough list. In the Bible, deaths caused by God fall into two categories. One with exact numbers and one without numbers at all. I'll start my search in the parts where the Bible gives precise figures. Some of these biblical outbursts incur a very high death toll indeed. Like when 50,070 men are pulverized for glimpsing inside the Ark of the Covenant. But that's nothing compared to the time when God sends an angel to wipe out 185,000 soldiers in one night. It's nice to see a Bible-accurate angel in this natural habitat. Other incidents are plain strange. In one story, a group of boys tease the prophet Elisha for being bald. They say, and I'm directly quoting here, "Go away, bald head. Go away, bald head." Upset by these hurtful comments, the prophet calls upon God to teach the boys some manners. Suddenly, a pack of bears appear to eat 42 of them. I'm still not sure what the moral to this tale is. Don't tease bald people.
I need to be quite careful, dude, about what I say. This is the story of slime. This is the biblical story of slime.
The numbers keep adding up, and the total gets larger and larger. If you add up all deaths that the Bible attributes to God, you arrive at 2,559,449.
Yikes.
2.5 million. Compare that with the 10 deaths attributed to Satan. An overwhelming majority comes from the Old Testament. There are only 4 God-related deaths from the New Testament. It's a big statistic for sure, but we're not even close to the real figure. So far, we've only counted deaths.
What was the population when the Bible was written? World population when Bible was written. According to this site, the population was around 100 million. So, well, like 2% of all human beings alive? 2% of everyone alive was killed by God?
An exact number. We haven't added up the parts where no number is given.
2.5%.
For example, how many people is a
1 in
city
50 people?
or an army? 1,000? 10,000? The best we can do is use historical estimates and rely on educated guesswork. Adding them all up, the number now jumps to 4,681,116. Ouch. But there's one more event we haven't yet factored in. The Great Flood in the book of Genesis. The cataclysmic event where God decides to drown everything underwater, sparing Noah and his ark full of animals. Using the internal dating of the Bible, the year of the flood would have been 2348 BC.
Okay.
All we need to do now is figure out what Earth's human population would have been. Historical estimates range from 14 million to 27 million. I'm going to settle somewhere in the middle and say 20 million. Adding this to the count, we arrive at the final number. Ready for it? God's biblical kill count, including the flood and other estimates, is 24,681,116. This is an eye-watering number. To put that into context, that's approximately 34 Hochelagers. Maybe subscriber count is not a helpful metric. God's Divine Death Toll.
That's probably good, right? I assume the rest doesn't matter. That's what God's Plan was really about by Drake. That was good. Why the soundtrack to Shrek is actually genius. I can't think of anything more pandering. This probably has fucking 40 million views. This is the most pandering title I've ever seen.
Shrek is a masterpiece of musical storytelling.
It's 4 million views. People love this shit, bro. Just find anything from fucking the average YouTube viewer's childhood and tell them how it's actually genius and how it's actually amazing and everything they like is actually the fucking masterpiece. And then everybody do a long video essay about it and then they'll fucking eat it up.
There, I said it. This film, and really by extension, the rest of the film series, not you, but the rest of the Shrek film series is a fantastic case study for what film music can do. This is not a joke. This is not a meme. I get it. You see a video about Shrek and you're like, oh god, the classic music snob is going to try and be funny and make memey, outdated Shrek jokes and just come off as a cringy version of Squidward having an existential crisis.
I think it's the opposite. The opposite is what it is on YouTube. The elitist, out of touch, snooty guy doesn't exist on YouTube. What happens on YouTube is they force feed you everything you like back to you for money. It's pandering. It's reverse. Shrek 2 has changes by David Bowie.
I'm serious. The music in Shrek is an absolute fantastic expression of what film scoring can accomplish. I can't emphasize this enough. I'm not kidding. Shrek is one of the most amazing film scores I've ever come across. But in order to explain it, I kind of got to go over how I got here. So since starting this whole YouTube thing and spending literally all my time either looking up, thinking about, or talking about film scores, or at the very least something related to film scoring, I've just been swarmed by people asking me what my opinions are about pop music. And not like oh, could you do a pop music review of my favorite tune? But more specifically, like, what are my thoughts on when a film uses pop music either as an addition to or as an outright replacement for a film's original score? And the truth is, I've made multiple videos on it, and I haven't been particularly kind to pop music in general. It's honestly been really difficult for me to just talk about pop music in general, let alone in a narrative sense, without coming off as a neckbeard, especially when it comes to discussing the more subtle nuances of how I feel about inserting pop music as a film scoring technique. But then a film came out. A film so remarkable that it brought everyone together. It sparked a rare discussion where everyone, big and small, young and old, all agreed about how that film had impacted our short time on this little blue marble. And that film was Suicide Squad. To be clear, because we live in dark times, this film sucks.
Oh, babe.
But don't take my word for it. Take it from this guy who has oh so very clearly gone to grad school. I mean, just look at him. I think the chugging cough syrup gives it away.
You know, I thought he was pandering, but there is no braver take than Shrek good, Suicide Squad bad on the internet. You know what I'm saying? It takes a real Marine to go out there and say Shrek good, Suicide Squad bad. That's I salute you, okay? Because the internet will eat you alive for an opinion like that. You have to have brass balls.
This is Dan Olson, who operates, owns, and is free to command his will over the YouTube channel Folding Ideas. And one of his pioneering videos is a 35-ish minute extravaganza on how exactly Suicide Squad sucks so much. Now, I've used this clip from this video before because it's one of my favorite little clips on the entirety of YouTube. And it's when he talks about the musical choices in Suicide Squad.
And I haven't even addressed the soundtrack yet. This trailer-style peppy montage relies heavily on pop music in the bluntest way possible. It's a prison in Louisiana. House of the Rising Sun by the Animals. Harley Isn't Your Plaything. You Don't Own Me by Leslie Gore. Amanda Waller is bad and she's going to introduce a bunch of devils. Sympathy for the devil. Harley's a super freak, so let's just play super freak. An Aussie who does dirty deeds? Dirty deeds, done dirt cheap.
Now, just to be clear, what he's saying is that the usage of pop music in this film is incredibly superficial, so much so that you could reduce the usage of said pop music to merely just the title and understand completely exactly how and why the producers used that specific piece of music in that specific scene. But hold on a minute. How is that any different from Shrek? When he's in his swamp and he's treating himself to a hashtag self-care day, we hear All-Star by Smash Mouth. He's treating himself, he's an all-star. We get Bad Reputation by Joan Jett when Shrek's wrestling with the Knights. He literally doesn't care what anyone thinks about him. we get I'm on My Way by the Proclaimers when Shrek and Donkey go off on their journey. Right here, we get a song called My Beloved Monster. That's a little on the nose, don't you think? We get Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah when everyone's sad. It even ends with Donkey singing Neil Diamond's I'm a Believer because, well, now he believes in love or something. And it doesn't end there. This whole pattern continues on to the second film. It opens with Accidentally in Love by Counting Crows,
Dude,
which, like, I think...
If this was parody, it would be great. I can't do this. I can't watch this. This style of YouTube is my fucking... It's my Achilles heel, bro. Let's do it. I need something else. No, I'm not watching Skin Theory. It's the same problem. No, I want to watch an actually good movie. I mean, a movie. There's got to be a video that's like, oh, interesting, and we learned something, and it tells you something, some cool story, or some cool... I mean, this one's a lie, obviously. I'm not going to listen to this one. 22 minutes. Ooh, sorry, I have a 22 minutes and 50 seconds limit, and this goes 1 second over. Very unfortunate. How one play can ruin your entire life. Baseball doesn't exist. This could be the winner. This could be the winner right here.
Baseball is a game of...
We love Baseball Doesn't Exist. That's an interesting title. I'm running it. I'm giving it a shot. This seems like a good idea.
Baseball is a game of failure. Fans expect their favorite teams and players to fail frequently and understand that's just part of the game. Unless it's the biggest game of the year. In that case, fans will write players threats, force the police to guard their homes at night for safety, leak their addresses online so fans can harass them, relentlessly roast them and their families online, and literally force them to go into hiding. Playoff series often come down to one play. If you mess up this play, your life will be in danger. That's what happened to this umpire who started a meltdown after missing the biggest call of his life. That's what happened to this fan who was in the wrong place at the wrong time, as well as dozens of other players who happened to have their worst performance.
I gotta see that again. Is that real? Wait, is that fucking fan get in the way of an actual play?
This fan who was in the wrong...
Oh, you dumbass.
Who was in the wrong place at the wrong time, as well as dozens of other
Kill
players
that fan.
who happen
Holy
to have
shit.
their worst performance
Infamous?
at the worst time
I'm not a baseball Andy. I don't know.
Quote-unquote choking can happen to anyone in
Choke.
many different ways. Mariano Rivera's worst performance ended up costing his team the World Series. It also just happened to literally save his teammate's life. Sports fans are passionate, and that's what makes sports fun. But that same passion can also cause them to do heinous things. Just ask Miles Straw, who climbed onto the outfield fence and told fans to, quote, because fans had been cheering and making fun of the head injury Straw's teammate suffered the play before. Later in the inning, the Yankees won on a walk-off, and fans started pelting the players with beer cans. After the game, Miles Straw received threats for how he responded to the hecklers.
Well,
This
actually,
happened
I think he's
after
kind of in the
their
right,
team
right?
won during an insignificant
right.
game in April.
What are they
When a
doing? They're
team
being
loses
assholes.
the biggest game of the year because of one single mistake, fans completely lose their
Sadist
mind.
Yankee fans.
These are the biggest chokes in baseball history and the scumbag fans who made these players' lives a living nightmare. On June 12, 2009, all the Mets had to do to win this game was get Alex Rodriguez out. He popped up, and all Luis Castillo had to do was make this catch.
Oh!
Mark Teixeira scored and the Mets lost. The New York Post reported that Castillo was in the dugout after the game, crying and repeatedly punching himself in the head. The next day, he came back to the field and said the play was so crushing that he still hadn't slept yet. The headlines called him and the play a, quote, disgrace, and a fan wrote into Newsday saying she wanted to ask Obama to keep Guantanamo Bay open just so he could put Luis Castillo in it. Castillo was cut by the Mets a year and a half later, and headlines read, quote, end of an era. Despite being an all-star and good enough to enter the Marlins Hall of Fame, he is most known, at least in New York, for making one bad play. And this really isn't that uncommon as a professional athlete. On July 23rd, 2021, Nick Whitgreen entered in the 9th inning of a tie game. He went on to give up 5 runs while only recording a single out. After the game, he and his wife went to Twitter, exposing an Instagram user who sent dozens of DMs and comments on a picture of him and his newborn, making multiple threats that are way too graphic to even show.
Jesus Christ.
Whitgreen went on to say that 90% of players he knows have received death threats, saying they get them basically after every single bad outing they have.
I would assume it's people that gambled too much. Right? People that just like, they bet a lot on the game and they assume they're like due for the win. And then the guy plays bad and they lose and then they get so, or drink. They either drink too much or gamble too much and it makes them fucking, deeply angry and emotionally invested. I assume that's...
By giving up 5 runs, Nick Whitgreen effectively lowered his team's chances of winning by 48% alone. This is according to a stat called wins probability added.
Wait, now that I hear that stat, I mean, it's like... Bro, if someone did that to me in League Solo Queue, I'd have some words. If someone dragged our team's chance of winning down 48%, it's like, I'm not going to say nothing.
Which measures how much a play affects a team's probability of winning depending on the situation. If you make an error during a blowout, your team's win probability might go down 1% and everyone will forget. But if you happen to make an error during the most pivotal play of the game, your team's win probability will plummet and everyone is going to blame you. Wins probability added is essentially the choking stat. And according to it, these are the biggest chokes of all time. In 1989, the Pirates scored 10 runs in the first inning, giving them a 99% win probability before the Phillies even got a chance to hit, leading their announcer to say this.
Well, I'll tell you something right now. If we lose this game, I'll walk back to Pittsburgh. You'll have to.
The Phillies went on to score 15 runs over the next 9 innings, and after the season, broadcaster Jim Rooker spent a week and a half walking 320 miles from Philadelphia all the way back home to Pittsburgh. The very next year, in a game against the Dodgers, the Phillies fell apart, making...
It's actually super gangster of him to do that. It's actually legendary, man of his word. 320 miles at his age, dude? That's fucking crazy. That's actually so respect. I mean, that's powerful.
Several errors, giving up 11 runs, including 8 without getting a single out.
Let's go, Status.
The Dodgers replaced 7 of their 8 starters with bench players and even pinch hit with their pitcher, Fernando Valenzuela, who also got a hit. Win probability calculated the Dodgers had a 100% chance of winning for 4 innings in a row. Then, their defense fell apart. The Phillies started hitting.
It can't be 100%, right? Because look what fucking happened.
The defense fell apart some more. The Phillies refused to get out and ended up scoring 8 unearned runs in a single inning and won the game. As bad as these chokes were, they only resulted in 1 loss out of 162 games and had very little effect on the season, so they're mostly forgotten. When this happens in the biggest game of the year, fans are much less forgiving. Cheating keep making those errors, great to see. This Twitter user called him a midget bitch. This Twitter user said, quote, I feel terrible that midget cheating Jose Altuve has, quote, the thing. Hit it to Altuve, please. Make him throw it to first. These tweets were referring to this seemingly innocent error in the 2020 ALCS. At the time, it only decreased the team's chances of winning by 2%, but it probably cost the Astros the series. This would have been the 3rd out, but because of the bad throw, the Rays immediately scored 3 runs. The Astros ended up losing by 2. If Altuve made this play, the Rays wouldn't have scored these 3 runs and the Astros probably would have won. If this wasn't bad enough, Altuve kept making throwing errors. He made 4 in the playoffs alone, 1 2 innings later. Then, the very next day, he made another error. The Rays went on to score all 5 of their runs this inning. If this was turned into a double play, most likely none of them would have scored. The Rays ended up winning the series by a single game, and the entire world blamed Altuve. That postseason, Altuve had one of the best offensive postseasons ever, putting up the 13th highest postseason OPS in the history of baseball. Unfortunately, in the public's eyes, these errors erased all of that. The playoffs add an extreme level of pressure that affects players differently. In 2013, Johnny Cueto seemed to collapse under it when, after giving up a homer, Pirates fans began taunting him by chanting his name. Cueto got flustered, dropped the ball.
Oh no! Oh no!
And on the very next pitch, he gave up another homer. The fan.
Oh no, bro. That's actually in your head. That's actually tilting. If you're a pro player, you're dropping the ball. Oh, that's not even like, they didn't even insult him. It's just a chant of his name. You should be able to fucking play when your name gets chanted. That's your goal. It's done so well they chant your name.
Fans continued chanting his name, and he had the worst start of his season. In 2013, Brooks Conrad had one of the worst playoff collapses ever after he made an error in the first inning. Luckily for him, nobody scored. Then in the third inning, he made another error. This put the Braves down 1 run, but they battled back to tie the game in the 6th. And in the 9th, another ground ball came to Conrad.
Reaches out of one through the legs of Conrad.
The Braves lost the lead and never got it back. In total, Conrad, by himself, lowered the Braves' chances of winning by an insane 46%, and nobody in Atlanta forgave him. Brooks Conrad, you suck. I really do hate you. I could punch you in the face 20 times right now.
She's like smiling. She's like a smiling, happy picture.
This Twitter user said, "Somebody still loves you, Brooks Conrad. It's your mother." And this guy said, quote, "I'm finding Brooks Conrad and in his pants." A local bar even created a special $4 discount for their Halloween party in honor of Conrad's 4 errors. The day after these key errors, he was picked to catch the ceremonial first pitch. And according to reports, he dropped it.
That again. He just beats this woman.
To catch the ceremonial first pitch.
Well, he's supposed to catch it, actually. You know what? That's not too much his fault. What a terrible throw.
Day after these key errors,
watch this throw again, dude. It's a terrible throw. What are you doing?
First pitch. And according to reports, he dropped it. This was the only playoff series Conrad ever played, and it just so happened he had the worst week of his career during the absolute worst time possible. And as crushing as this is, it happens all the time. In 2012, the Athletics started Coco Crisp in center field, leading to tweets like this: "Coco Crisp is probably the sickest name anyone could possibly have." Then he dropped this fly ball, giving up the lead and instantly lowering the A's chances of winning by 41%. That's what happens when your name's Coco Crisp. Coco Crisp, you stupid. Hashtag nice basket catch. And this guy said, quote, "Thanks, Coco Crisp, you idiot." Jay Bruce hit a home run to give the Reds a 3-0 lead in the NLDS, and Twitter said, quote, "Jay Bruce is awesome." This Twitter user said, "I want to marry Jay Bruce." He also made this catch and nearly threw out the runner at first, leading this Twitter user to say, "I love watching Jay Bruce play defense." 3 innings later, he lost the ball in the lights, lowering the Reds' chances of winning by 37%. This play gave up the winning run. Jay Bruce, you're a bitch. You've played baseball your whole life, and you can't catch a pop fly? This Twitter user said,
Internet's so fickle, bro. Internet's so fickle. You're doing good. I've always been on your team. You're the GOAT, dude. I fucking love this guy. Been on your team since day one. You doing bad? This guy fucking sucks. I've always hated him.
Bruce, your glove just sharded.
Yeah, what have you
this
done
guy
for me
said,
lately?
quote, "Jay Bruce fielded that ball like a little." Playoff baseball is a brutal, unforgiving game where one single play can erase weeks of unbelievable play.
Oh, God.
In the 2015 playoffs, Daniel Murphy hit
What
a
a
home
crazy-
run in 6 straight playoff games, won NLCS MVP, carried the Mets offense to the World Series. They made t-shirts for him and was so loved in New York City, they named a bar after him. But in Game 4 of the World Series, with the Mets winning in the 8th inning, Daniel Murphy got a ground ball. This allowed the tying run to score, and the very—
That's fucked, dude. The guy has delivered you win after win after win after win, and he misses one fucking ground ball. It's hard.
next batter drove in the winning run. The Mets' most important and beloved player instantly became the most hated. All the headlines blamed Murphy. This Twitter user called him a fraud, and this guy said he hopes Murphy's error haunts him the rest of his life. Daniel Murphy set a MLB record by hitting a home run in 6 straight playoff games. If you combine all of these home runs, they increased the Mets' odds of winning the World Series by 12.44%. This one error lowered their chances by 11.65%, meaning an entire 2 weeks of historic offensive production was pretty much entirely erased by one badly timed mistake.
Jesus Christ.
This is according to championship
He's
win
still net
probability
positive.
added, which measures how much a play affects a team's chances of winning the World Series. If you make 3 crucial errors in the first round of the playoffs, your championship win probability added may go down 5%. But if you mess up in the World Series, your championship win probability added will plummet. When this happens, you will not only get mean tweets, your life will literally be in danger. That's what happened to Mitch Williams, who had to get the police to guard his home after he had one of the most unfortunate performances in the history of baseball. Mitch Williams came into the World Series with a 4-run lead, only needing 5 outs to tie the series. His teammate Curt Schilling had so little faith in him, he wore a shirt to a press conference that said, quote, "I survived a Mitch Williams outing," and would put a towel over his head every time Williams came into a game so he didn't have to watch. Williams later described Schilling as the—
Okay, that's a bad teammate, though, bro. That's not a good teammate. Do you know what I'm saying?
worst teammate he's ever had. Williams immediately gave up a run, and Schilling and Phillies fans were repeatedly shown throughout the inning with towels over their head.
So
when
funny.
he entered, the Phillies had a 92% chance to win the game. When he left, they had a 30% chance to win after he gave up 5 runs. When he got home, he was greeted by a police officer who said Williams was getting so many death threats he had to guard his house overnight for his own safety. Williams says that fans went to his house, took threatening pictures in front of it, and left it in his mailbox to intimidate him. He reportedly didn't get a minute of sleep, which may have affected his performance 3 days later when he entered a game with a 79% chance to win. He left the game 4 batters later with a 0% chance to win after he gave up the game-winning home run. In total, Williams lowered the Phillies' chances of winning the World Series by a record 53% while only pitching 2 2/3 innings. If Williams
It's
doesn't
insane
blow these
because
leads, the Phillies—
baseball teams are so big. There's so many players. You know, it's already bad in league when one of your 5 teammates can ruin your chance of winning. But if it's like one of fucking 12, how many people are on a baseball team? It's insane how one person can fucking ruin everyone else grinds all year. 26 people? 1 out of 26 lose your chance by 50%?
This would probably win the World Series. Williams had a terrible series, but having an ERA this high in a 6-game series is common. In fact, 4 other pitchers in this series had worse stats. Williams just happened to give up runs at the worst time possible, which can happen to anyone, even the best closer of all time, Mariano Rivera, whose choke literally saved his teammate's life. But before we get to that, a word from today's sponsor. The playoffs are here, guys, and now, more until this, he could attend the parade. Would DE in the bottom of the 9th. When he entered the game, happened in 4-2. Mariano Rivera had an amazing 1.42 ERA in the World Series, but the only runs he allowed happened in Game 7 in the bottom of the 9th. When he entered the game, the Yankees had a 76% chance to win it all. He gave up a hit, then made an error, and eventually gave up 2 runs, and the Yankees lost. His teammate, Enrique Wilson, thought the Yankees were going to win, so he booked a flight home a week after Game 7 so he could attend the parade. But since the Yankees lost, there was no parade, so he ended up switching to an earlier flight to get home sooner. The flight he originally booked ended up crashing, killing all 265 passengers.
God.
If Mariano Rivera got these outs and the Yankees won it all, Enrique Wilson would have died in a plane crash. When a player blows a World Series,
But someone else got that seat. You kind of murdered someone else. Do you know what I'm saying? He knew. Yeah, that's why he threw it. He knew.
Backlash is unbelievable, but when an umpire does it, it is astronomically
Damn,
worse.
that's crazy.
In Game 6 of the 1985 World Series, the Cardinals
Damn, I didn't know that a plane
with an 80% chance to.
I didn't wait. I already don't like. I already get a little fucking nervous during turbulence, bro. I didn't know that a plane in America had crashed, killing everyone on board on a normal like city to city flight. Of course I knew about 9/11. It's not a crash, is it? It's a hijacking. I'm talking about a regular fucking flight. Let me see. Plane crashes in USA. How many has there been? There has been, wow, a lot. Bro, these are all fatal plane crashes in the United States. Yeah, but they all, wait. Show me by body count here. Fatalities. Is this the flight? What was the flight that 200 people died? Is this one it? 1997? No. Is this it? Second one. Oh. Wow, so that was actually extremely rare, if you think about it. It was one of the rarest. The aircraft lost its vertical stabilizer shortly after takeoff as a result of the first officer's extreme rudder inputs. First officer choked. He made extreme rudder inputs during wake turbulence. Oh my God, Aiden lied to me! Bro, we were having turbulence during the New Zealand flight, and Aiden was like, no plane has ever crashed because of turbulence. He said it's never happened. And I was like, all right, well then cool. But right here, look at this. Wake turbulence. Aiden lied, people died. Well, no one's died yet. What's the most recent one? September 4th? Carrying tourists, the seaplane nosedived and crashed for unknown and undetermined reasons. 0 survivors. What's the most survivors? 2020? A man who had illegally entered the airfield was struck by the plane as it was landing. This is just a normal flight where the plane landed and it hit a guy. That's not really an airline fatality. I mean, yeah, I guess. I'm laughing. The dude fucking snuck into an airfield, stood on a landing airstrip, and got hit by a plane. Fucking, it's likely. That, you know what I'm saying? It's like if a dude's like, oh, I'm going to sneak into the subway tracks and hang out there all day. And then I find out later you get hit by a subway. I'm not surprised, is all I'm saying. That doesn't shock me. That seems like the expected outcome. Aiden told the guy he could go. The aircraft experienced exploding. Man, crazy. Crazy. What's crazy is this flight was only a month after 9/11. And it was in New York. This is the one from the video. It was literally a month after 9/11. That's when you really don't want to be having any problems. That's why it was forgotten. Well, it wasn't. It's in this video. Oh, this is 9/11 right there. So what about... Give me something. I just want to see what's recent. I'm actually kind of interested in how often this happens. 2 years, nothing. So this doesn't really count. This one doesn't count. Because it's a tiny little seaplane. This doesn't count because it just hit a guy. This one is Kobe, R.I.P. Kobe. That's very sad. But again, not a big flight. I'm talking about what's a big flight? Has a big flight crashed in my lifetime? Non-hijacked, just like crashed from turbulence. You can sort by aircraft? Yeah, but it's gonna be alphabetical by aircraft. That's not what I want. I'm just looking right here. I'm going for like airlines I recognize. Southwest Airlines had engine failure with debris in the fuselage, and one passenger was partially ejected from the aircraft and died of her injuries. Well, that's crazy, but that's only still one death. So the engine failed, and they only had one death. That makes me feel better. That seems pretty good if they can survive an engine failure. This one was pilot error and 0 survivors, 2 fatalities. 2 people. Asiana Airlines. So already we're getting back to well, it's been a long time. See, this is what I thought. There's really not many crashes. All right, this is the big one right here. Asiana Airlines crashed short of the runway during landing because of pilot error. This was in SF. This is not far from me. 300 survivors, though. Actually, only 3 fatalities. So even if the plane crashes, and this is the crash, and most people live, 187 injuries? All right, yeah, but still, you didn't die. And that was 10 years ago. So flying's pretty safe, all things considered. If this is all there is, Southwest Airlines. That's terrible. Killed a kid in a car, but nobody in the plane died. What about this one? Overweight and with faulty maintenance to its elevator system. The plane entered an unrecoverable stall just for takeoff. That'd be so sad. Yeah, so wait. Since the flight in this video, there has not been a major airline crash. That was the last one. Since 2001. One in 09? No. Where? 2009? What's this? Oh, 50 people? Actually, that is pretty bad. Kind of a small flight, but yeah. The aircraft crashed into a house during approach due to the flight crew's improper response. Jesus Christ. In USA? All right, let's not get... Not enough death for me? Well, I'm just saying, the average flight I would get on in America, I'm going to be on a packed, United Airlines, Delta, Southwest kind of flight. It's going to have a few hundred people, and it's going to fly from a city to another city. And the fact that I see 0 of those having any problems is kind of, makes me feel good. That doesn't mean it's due. No, it's not like fucking Vegas, dude. It's not due. They don't it's not a gift.
Win the game and the World Series until this leadoff hitter reached on this obviously missed call by umpire Don Denkinger. This runner, who should not have even been on base, ended up scoring, followed by the game-winning run. The next day, the Cardinals were getting blown out in Game 7, so the whole team decided to get the umpire back. Joaquim Andahar started cursing out the home plate umpire. Not because he thought this was a bad call, but because it was the same umpire who blew the call the game before. Manager Whitey Herzog then got in the middle of it and got ejected. Then the entire team lost their minds on him. The very next pitch, Andujar threw another ball and cursed out the ump again, was ejected, then charged him from the mound. During this game, a radio DJ found the umpire's home address and phone number and released it live on the air, basically asking fans to harass him.
That's bad.
When he got home, a police officer was waiting in his driveway, saying that someone was threatening to burn his house down. He, his wife, and his 2 kids all got threats that became so serious they had to contact the FBI in order to get protection.
Jesus Christ.
Den Kinger's bad call lowered the Cardinals' chances of winning by close to 20%. There were 2 costlier mistakes made by the Cardinals that inning, but having someone who's not even in the game affect the outcome causes a different type of rage. That's what happened to Steve Bartman, who got ejected, had a beer thrown at him, had to be put in a disguise, snuck out of the stadium, and stay in a Cubs employee's apartment just so he wouldn't get beaten up in the streets. The Cubs had a 92% chance to win the game and were 5 outs from going to their first World Series in 58 years when Bartman got in the way of this foul ball. The Cubs went on to give up 8 runs immediately after this, lost the game, and eventually lost the series. Assuming Moises Alou makes this catch, Bartman lowered the Cubs' chances of going to the World Series by 8.2% just by trying to catch a foul ball. Even though this error made by Alex Gonzalez and Mark Pryor's meltdown were both twice as costly, Bartman was blamed and became the most famous and hated man in Chicago. The Chicago Sun-Times published his name, neighborhood, and place of work, causing fans to find him and harass him. He refused to do any media and was never publicly seen again. The ball ended up being bought for over $100,000, exploded, boiled into a marinara sauce, added to the restaurant spaghetti, and sold at Harry Carey's restaurant for $11. You could literally eat the Steve Bartman baseball for $11. Despite how much of a nightmare this was for Bartman, nothing compares to the lifelong harassment and public shame that came to Bill Buckner after he made what is widely considered the costliest error of all time. In 1986, the Red Sox were 1 win away from winning their first World Series in 68 years. In Game 6, they went into the 9th inning tied. This pretty much guarantees that the World Series was going to be determined by 1 or 2 plays, meaning whoever makes a mistake will almost certainly be known for the rest of their lives for blowing the World Series.
Insane amount of pressure.
Kevin Elster made a massive error, allowing the go-ahead run to first base. But the next batter grounded into a double play, letting him off the hook. The next inning, Rich Gedman made a bad throwing error, allowing the winning run to get into scoring position. At this point, the Mets had a 70% chance to score and win, but the next 3 Mets all got out, letting Gedman off the hook. The next inning, Rich Aguilera immediately gave up 2 runs, and it looked like he was going to be known for blowing the World Series. After retiring the first 2 batters, giving the Red Sox a 96% chance to win the World Series, they gave up 3 straight hits, allowed a run, and put the tying run on third. Bob Stanley came in, immediately threw a wild pitch, and the Mets tied the game. It looked like Bob Stanley was forever going to be known for blowing the World Series. Luckily for Stanley, the next batter hit a ground ball to Bill Buckner. It went under his legs, allowing the winning run to score. Even though Mookie Wilson may have beat him to first anyway, the Red Sox didn't technically lose until the next day in Game 7. Bill Buckner took all of the blame. Buckner's error lowered the Red Sox chances of winning the World Series by over 21%, the second costliest error of all time. Buckner was an all-star, won a batting title, and played 22 years in the major leagues. But even though it was only one of dozens of mistakes made that series, Buckner's came at the worst time possible, and he will be remembered for it forever.
Good video. Good video. You know, I don't like baseball in general, but I love all his videos. It makes it very compelling. Pretty hype. Let's see what we got here. I'm going to do a refresh. There's so many videos. Refresh. Oh, wait. Atrioc. How flammable can I make McDonald's? The most profound moment in gaming history. the Joe Schmoes Show, Season 1, Episode 1. No, I don't want that. What is Blase Ball? And why is it taking over the internet? Or Blaze Ball? I don't know. Competitive Pokemon's greatest cheating scandal? And it's under 12 minutes? Kind of interested. This is my current. This sounds kind of interesting. All right, we got Pog. We'll check it out. Check it out.
You've got to understand, like, these people would actually spend hours of their real life to do something like this. Like, what kind of person? How do you sleep at night? How do you look at yourself in the mirror and like, and still wake up in the morning being proud of yourself? That's incredible, honestly.
This situation is like,
yo, fucking amen, bro. I fucking hate cheaters. I fucking hate video game cheaters, honestly, and I can't wait to hear what he has to say. If you're already in if you're in the most niche of niche communities, you're like an online Pokemon fan-made tournament battles, and you're cheating, bro, just
nothing we've ever seen before. It's
very
very.
It might surpass Blue for the worst cheating scandal of all time.
The Mazar story was an elaborate cheating affair on Smogon that involved a double-kick Terrakion, the 2017 Smogon Premier League season getting nullified, and a fundamental change to Pokemon Showdown.
What?
Smogon is a de facto authority on singles Pokemon.
Yep.
And games are played on Pokemon Showdown, a battling simulator where the in-game battles are...
I used to do this, by the way. I used to enter online Pokemon tournaments around Diamond and Pearl era. I was in, like, the Game Facts League. I was in the Penny Arcade League. I used to do this all the time. Extreme virginity. My name was Mazar, actually. I used to do a little thing where I would cheat a little bit. Hope they never found out about it. Let's watch this video. No, and I really liked it. But I don't think I was incredible or anything. But I played it a lot for a bit, and I got into it. I had a pretty good team.
Replicated perfectly. Breeding Pokemon is extremely time-consuming and tedious, and using a simulator lets you skip that and focus on the actual battling part of competitive Pokemon. In 2017, Mazar was having an unusually good year in Smogon Premier League, one of the more elite tournaments where you play on...
If this is about him using cheats to breed a perfect Pokemon, I don't even consider that cheating, though. Because I think everybody did that. Because... the game of Pokemon was, the fun part was playing. Okay. Yeah. You don't breed for Showdown. I know. On Showdown you don't breed, but people would do tournaments where you actually had to put in the friend code and battle. And I guess some people were sticklers that, like, you should have caught them and bred them yourself and, like, hatched 400 eggs to find the right nature. But, like, pretty much everybody just got, like, someone to make it. Yeah, because like, it takes fucking 200 hours to make, like, a fucking... Jolly Nature Garchomp or whatever. It's just fucking annoying as shit.
On a team with other players in a variety of different formats like Gen 1 or Gen 7. In competitive singles Pokemon tournaments, it is player versus player, and people often build new teams for each match, which takes place once a week. Teams are not public, and it means the prize factor is important and it can make or break a game. Okay. Busting out a new, never-before-seen tactic or idea can change the game completely.
What's up? How do I say your name? Is it Freeze AI or Freeze? Freezy? How do you want me to say it? Anyway, Freeze Eye. All right. What's up, man? I think I've seen some of your videos before, and I always like them. It's very interesting.
And most people spend the week preparing a new team instead of reusing an old one. This is different from other tournaments like VGC, where you have to submit your team beforehand. This is different from playing in-game, where you can look up the Elite Four's Pokemon. You can't simply look up your opponent's team when it's another human being who's also making decisions about what team to bring.
Yeah.
You can prepare for opponents by looking up their...
So one thing that people would do, this is, again, maybe my information's out of date, but what I remember happening was you'd be in a tournament, and you wouldn't be required to submit your team ahead of time. They just had to be OU legal. Or, that was the tier. And then, but the problem is, if, like, let's say I fight somebody round 1, and that guy I fight is friends with the guy I'm going to fight in round 3. The guy in round 1 could tell his friend everything that I'm using, all of my hidden move lists, what items I have my Pokemon. Like that was what would happen, is like word of mouth. Because a lot of times you could use like tricks. Like the big thing I remember I would do is I would have a Blissey, which is usually a special defense wall Pokemon. And I had like I forget the name of the berry, like a Cheshire berry or something. Whatever berry makes you take half damage from fighting. And then I had counter. So it was a Blissey that had counter, which is like you never see that. Yeah, Choppleberry. I had a Choppleberry counter Blissey. And so like they would have a Machamp and they'd expect you to switch out and they'd use it on your fucking Blissey or whatever. And if they focus punch it, your Blissey would actually live and then counter and kill them. It's like it was a super cheese, but it was hype as hell. And I would do that and someone would tell their friend about it and they'd be ready.
Past games and what Pokemon they like to use and how they like to play, but that's about it. But what was unusual about the season was the way Mazar was winning. It almost felt like every game he was having the perfect team for each matchup. This isn't necessarily a big deal. People get good team matchups all the time. Maybe they have a good grasp of the trends of the metagame. Maybe they really analyzed their opponent's tendencies and found a pattern they could act on.
Okay.
Maybe they just got lucky. A good matchup can be explained just by the variance that is innate to Pokemon and team building. But for Mazar, it was happening really often, and once he started playing Ubers, a tier where you can use the most powerful Pokemon banned from standard play, Mazar was running away with it. In one game, Mazar had an Ingrain Rest Z Geomancy Xerneas with Reflect support. That moveset happened to completely beat his opponent's team. No real hope at all. Ingrain means it can't be roared away, Z Geomancy gives it a defense boost, and Rest means Toxic doesn't work. Basically, Mazar brought an interesting new tactic and it worked perfectly. Sometimes that happens, it's Pokemon. Then, in the next week versus a stall team, he brings a very unusual stall killer. Whirlpool pairs Song Arceus Dark to act as a trapper and killer.
Okay.
Whirlpool prevents the opponent from switching, and when you use Perish Song, you switch out at the last moment while your opponent cannot, and you get the KO. Trapping strategies work well against defensive teams because they won't do enough damage to you in the 3 turns of Perish Song to make you want to switch out early.
Right.
Yet another decisive team pick from Mazar, and he gets another easy win.
This guy's
Later,
lucky as hell.
in the semifinals, he uses an Endure Reversal Baton Pass Blaziken to knock out Zygarde and then Baton Pass out to Primal Groudon. Blaziken is not a very common Pokemon at all in the Ubers tier because it's not consistent and would definitely be considered a risky matchup, especially to bring it in a semifinals game. Mazar would actually end up getting unlucky in the game too, but the damage was already done and Mazar would continue to dominate the rest of the game and pick up the win.
Okay.
Mazar and his team, the Tigers, would end up dominating the season too, and he finished 6-0 while playing Ubers that season. His team even made the finals of the tournament. In the finals of the tournament against Gunnar Rohan, Mazar used a stall team. Gunnar Rohan's team had nothing that could break Mazar's team and was basically unbeatable, leading to a finals victory.
That's very cringe.
As it happened, the finals ended in a tie, which meant that they would play in a final best of 3 tiebreaker, where there's one neutral tier, and each team can pick one tier for the tiebreaker. Okay. Mazar's team obviously picked Uber so that Mazar could play in the best of 3 because he was having an incredible season. That matched him up versus Gunnar Rohan again for the 3rd time that season. This time in the ultimate winner-take-all. It was 1-1 in the best of 3, and whoever won game 3 would win the entire championship.
Okay.
Basically, this was the most important game of the season. As you might predict, Mazar effortlessly demolished Gunnar Rohan to win the championship. A crowning moment for an incredible season. But people aren't stupid.
He's the GOAT. What's the problem?
A lot of people didn't notice too much, and they just thought Mazar was a god. He was making the right moves and picking the right teams.
Sounds good to me.
But if you took a deeper look, or maybe you knew a little bit more about Ubers, you would notice that something wasn't quite right. Mazar's team choices were supernaturally good. Maybe you could get an amazing matchup once or twice, but you start raising eyebrows when it happens that often and that
How would
brutally.
he possibly...
Some of the matchups were literally unplayable. Even before the finals, people could figure out that something was going on, and it wasn't just Mazar. But there was another character in the story. a person known as the Trap God or TTG.
The Trap God.
TTG was also getting really good matchups. In a now infamous game, he brought a Double Kick Terrakion versus a Focus Sash Smeargle team. Double Kick's goal is to break Focus Sash, but because it's a weak move, the only Pokemon that it hits well enough is Smeargle. Basically, in an Uber's game full of legendary Pokemon, he brought a Pokemon tailored to beat Smeargle, and his opponent happened to bring it.
Yeah, that's
By the time
weird.
the finals rolled
weird.
around, some people had at least some level of suspicion, but no one really knew what was happening. There was no evidence, nothing to really point at, besides the fact that the matchups were great. The obvious answer would be, what if someone on the roster is leaking the team? But that wouldn't make sense because Mazar was getting good matchups versus everybody, not just one team.
Right.
There's surely not a leaker on every single team ready to give Mazar information.
Yeah, wait, how does he do it?
And that's how it ended, with no evidence. People pushed for their own investigation.
Mazar's really fighting for his life in these comments. They're kind of scrolling through it, but he's like, yeah, bro, the guy's fucking trash. He trash team.
Whatever that means, but nothing really materialized. The tournament ended in April of 2017, with Mazar and the Tigers as winners of the entire tournament.
Mazar the Great.
Until October 2017. In a complete coincidence, someone else who was also accused of cheating and unrelated stuff decided to come clean, and they gave their Discord account and password to the tournament directors. In that Discord account, they also happened to find chat logs of that person with Mazar.
Oh shit!
The information from those chat logs were, with the help of Pokemon Showdown admins, cross-checked, and when Mazar was grilled about the contents of those logs, he revealed everything.
I've never heard of that. Like, that's crazy. Even if, like, this guy admits to cheating, he confesses up, and he goes, all right, you caught me, I cheated. And then he gives your Discord username and password? That's great. What if he had other shit on there? What if he's got, like, fucking, I don't know, like his friends' messages or what? Isn't that just weird? Like, they can get anything. Your Discord has everything.
He was using a bot. Basically, back in the Stone Age, all matches were public by default, but you could make a game private in a split second by using a command after the game starts. Moreover, Pokemon Showdown displays a log of who joins your games. Obviously, people test their new teams before bringing it to a big tournament. People don't test on the Pokemon Showdown ladder because it's too risky. Even on an alt account, someone might remember a team they fought on the ladder and your team could not be secret anymore.
Right.
Most people test teams with their teammates or friends in private challenge games. Mazar used a bot that could enter every single game, including private games. He had it constantly running, and with the speed of the bot, it could enter a game before you could private it. More importantly though, he did it using guest accounts on Pokemon Showdown. If you joined a game as a guest account, your name wouldn't show up in the log because you didn't have a name yet. You were a guest and you hadn't made your username yet. The Mazar bot, as it's called now, would join every single game on the Pokemon Showdown server and save the game.
That's crazy.
That means if you had at any point tested your team...
So he was fucking... He was, This was fucking bizarre, dude. He had every fucking game of all of Showdown getting data dumped until he could find the fucking teams. That's crazy.
Mazar would have it. Using this information, he would craft the perfect unbeatable team for the matchup. He would always have the team version that you last tested with. The bot was absurd because it was getting information.
Damn, you know what'd be crazy is if you couldn't prove it. Let's say they couldn't prove it, but you knew this guy was always coming with the fucking heat. You could totally bait him, dude. You could practice a bunch with one team on your main and then like have an alt where you actually learned your team and then switch last second and he'd have some fucking dog shit Pokemon that were like made to counter and you could just own him. That would have been such a fun way to...
Information that was thought to be 100% private. Of course, if people knew there was a magic bot watching every game, they would use alternate accounts even when playing with friends, but no one knew this type of bot could even exist. A last-minute team switch would throw off the bot strategy too, but you wouldn't randomly switch out the team you've been testing with all week unless you could even fathom the existence of a magic bot.
Last-minute teams which would have been
Most
so
people were
fucking
looking
wild.
at human forms of cheating, like leaking a team, so they were only testing with people they could 1000% trust, but at the end of the day they were still testing their teams. Incidentally, the one flaw of the bot was that it wouldn't work on the OU tier, which is standard play, because the raw number of games was too much. That might explain how he started the season 1 and 2 in OU before finishing undefeated in Ubers. He was also using the bot to help his teammates. He couldn't tell his teammates he had a bot that could get the opponent's team, but he could offer advice. He could say stuff like, hey, I think X is a good Pokemon versus your opponent. I noticed a trend and his teams are weak to it. Undoubtedly, Mazar was able to elevate his teammates too. The whole situation caused chaos for the tournament, which finished months ago. You can't redo everything because it affected a lot of teams throughout the season. For example, it wouldn't make sense to award the trophy to the other finalist team.
Why not?
Because the Tigers only reached the finals in the first place because of Mazar. Without Mazar, there would have been a different team in the playoffs and the entire bracket would have been different.
Oh, yeah,
Ultimately, they decided to just nullify the result of the tournament and declare it no winner. Mazar would get permanently banned, and TTG was never actually caught, but with the double kick Terrakion, everyone knows he was in on it, so he's essentially exiled, just not literally banned.
Yeah,
Pokemon Showdown would also change their security. As of now, you have a checkbox where you can decide whether or not you want to play a game publicly or privately before you even start the game.
Oh, sick.
Gunnar Rohan, who had his team stolen 4 times that season, made a video from his own point of view, which you can find in the description below. Mazar was not even the inventor of the bot. Some of his friends did. He was more of a useful idiot who was friends with the right people. In fact, it's a commonly held belief that if he didn't create the most obscenely lopsided matchups of all time...
I cannot stress enough how stupid Mazar is. If a person with an IQ above 65 had this bot, we would have never caught it. Thank God it was him. True, dude. Actually true, because the way he was doing it was so fucking blatant. You know what I'm saying? You could have been way more subtle about it. That's really funny.
No one would have even suspected anything
Glass
in the
onion
first
moment.
place. But that's the way it goes sometimes, and it resulted in one of the 2 biggest cheating scandals in competitive Pokemon history.
That was hype. Good video. That's funny. Good vid. I want to watch Glass Onion, but I haven't seen the first movie. You don't need to see it. Not even a little bit. I created a $1,000 Hitman challenge. The results about the game. What? That sounds wild. I bet this video is probably already on its way to 1 million views. Maybe it's even stands up here. Stands up here in the overpass. 918,000 in 5 days? An Atrioc record? Holy shit. Only watched halfway. Yeah, I did. Only watched my own video halfway. Dude, what a crazy title. Capitalism, Poverty, and Ratatouille. I turned Logan Paul's scam into a working game.
I turned Logan Paul's Cryptozoo scam into a real game. Logan's fans were scammed out of millions.
I lost around $15,000 US.
I lost $25,000.
$120,000. $500,000 Australian.
They were promised a game.
I think my game plays in our game. It's a really fun game.
Keep using a word there. Game.
Actually, it's a really fun game. That line, I want to have it on my soundboard because I actually think about it. It's actually though his delivery is so funny, knowing that he was lying and there is no game. It's really funny to me. It's a very iconic line.
It's a game.
That game was never delivered, so I decided to make it myself.
Because he really sells it. I mean, it's actually good acting. He doesn't just say it's a really fun game. And he stops himself. And he smiles. The whole face and everything. It's like very sociopathic. It's like a very sociopathic lie.
First, how is it marketed?
Let me try to break it down for you. This is how it was supposed to work. You started by buying this crypto token called Zoo, which is their in-game currency. And
yeah, it's
you
very
use
Patrick
Zoo
Bateman or
coins
something.
To
Yeah.
then buy egg NFTs.
I don't know. It stuck
which
with
you
me.
can
That
then
line has stuck with
hatch
me.
To become animals. You then can breed those two animals to become hybrid animals. For example, if you breed a gorilla and a kitten, you get a gore kitty. And the more rare the NFT, the higher the daily yield of Zoo tokens that animal earns you every day. Theoretically, it works like almost like passive income. You can then burn your animal NFTs to release the Zoo they earned back to you, and from there you can invest it into eggs or just cash out.
Now we know what to make, but I had a fraction of the resources Logan had to put into this ambitious game, and he failed.
For the last 6 months, I've been working on my own NFT project. We have a massive team behind it and are probably out of pocket like $1 million.
A few hours later, I had a working game. You could hatch eggs to get animals of different rarities, breed those animals to make hybrids, burn cards to release their yield, and continue the real Zoo circle of life. But it was lacking something. That art Logan bragged about.
We handmade art for the past 6 months, bro. 10 different artists.
Well, I didn't have a team of 10 artists, but I called my friend Merpley Derp.
All right, so I started off in Photoshop, and things were going pretty good. But then I remembered that I have to make 136 of these, and I am just a mere mortal, and this quality is just not sustainable. So I decided to call in a favor from this dude named Stable Diffusion. I tried to use Stable Diffusion through this website called Dream Studio. It gave me some real weird results and some straight up nightmare fuel.
Oh, Jesus.
So I thought I should probably change it up. After doing some research, I found a style I really liked, and I started to get some very cool images.
Oh, cool.
I was really happy
Well,
with how
all
they
in the
looked,
same
so
style?
all that's left to
That's
do
crazy.
was...
It's actually crazy.
Oh, God. Input all of the animals into the game one by one.
AI art's scary, man.
Part. Back to you, Yippee.
Now it looked good, but I wanted more. I
That's
added
crazy.
accounts and stored
Well, that's
player
actually
progress.
crazy. This is actually kind of unsettling how commercially viable this art is. And it's AI generated, and it all feels like part of a style. That's crazy.
I also wanted to learn how to add payments in a web project. I took this as an opportunity and added the ability to buy coins. Please only buy anything if you want to support and you have extra money. You can play the entire game for free. It does cost me some to host the site and transfer data, mainly the pictures, but I don't expect it to be much, unless y'all blow this up. Here's the finished game. Logan charged $300 per egg. After you sign in, I give you enough coins to buy 5. That's $1,500 worth of eggs for free. I know, I'm incredibly generous. I think it might be fun to turn this into an actual game you play using the card.
Bro, you should literally sell this to Logan Paul right now. He is fucking desperate for a working game, bro. Bro, this dude's fucking head over heels desperate to get a working game out the door so he can stop getting fucking called a scammer. He would buy this fucking carte blanche.
Cards that you have. Let me know if that's something you want to see, and if so.
Where's the link?
See, and if so.
Where's the link? I just want to see what I get, you know? No, I don't want to log in with Google, bro. God fucking damn it. All right. I got a zebra. Egg. I got a bear. Egg. Egg. I got an orca. Wow. These are all common, though. Egg. I got a snake. Egg. I got a frog! Wait, am I spending money? Okay, great. I spent all my money. Wait, I got a frog and a turtle. Can I breed them together? Or am I done? I don't get it. How do I breed my frog? Breed. With my turtle. Breed. I got a Fertile! Look at the daily yield, bro. Holy shit, look at this Fertile. This game rules. This is a really fun game. And it makes me money? Wait. Well, I don't want to burn it. I don't want to burn my Fertile. How do I don't want it. What do I get if I burn it? Let me burn something else. If I burn the snake, what do I get? Burning has been removed. Cool. So you just click on the card to get coins? All right, I got 1 coin. Oh, I see. So these are... Okay, so I have to wait for these to yield. But this thing yields pretty fast because it's a freaking Fertile. Mix zebra and zebra. All right, deal. Breed. Zebra with zebra. Oh, you can't. You actually can't. Wait. No, you can't. What if I mix the zebra with my Fertile? Nope, I can't. Okay. How about a zebra and an orca? A Zorka! Wow, it's actually kind of swag, dude. But it's still common. What about a bear and a snake? A bake! Doesn't look anything like a snake. I think I'm... All right. Well, this game was truly legendary. That's an all-timer for sure. It's crazy. That's all Logan Paul had to do. That level of gameplay is all that Logan Paul had to do for $1 million to not be legitimately a scammer. That's all he had to do. That's the bare minimum of effort. It's crazy you couldn't clear that. Oh, I made a video using Chat GPT. I don't really want to see it. Anyway, all right. Well, you got any more videos? That was fun. How TV screens made watching movies worse. I don't care. I like movies. The game dev who betrayed his players. Actually, I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's 10 o'clock. I might jump over to community on account of the fact that I feel a little sick from the mucho drinking we did last night. This is, by the way, Line Goes Up, I believe, is the best single YouTube video I've ever seen. I've thought about it. I think this is the most powerful piece of YouTube journalism I've ever seen. I think it's one of the best videos on the whole platform. I'm not going to watch it, obviously, but I just think it was so brave and powerful to put it out when they did. It would be very, very easy to make this video now, and it wouldn't be that impressive. But they made this video during the fucking height of NFT mania, NFT and crypto mania, and they pulled no punches, and it was just refreshing honesty from a world where you couldn't rely on journalism to do that. It really was a great video, like truly one of the best videos I've ever seen. Wasn't it a lot longer? I don't think so. Maybe they cut it down. Yeah, this video had a huge impact. It kind of like, I think it empowered a lot of people who had been like confused and be like, this doesn't make a lot of sense. To be like, wait, this doesn't make any sense. Because there was this pressure when it was on a rocket ship. And I felt this pressure too, because I never bought an NFT, I never bought any crypto, I never invested. But I still felt the pressure sometimes, especially living in Silicon Valley, to be like, well, the tech is cool, but I don't know about this. It was like, you always have to be like, oh yeah, the tech is perfect. It's going to change everything. The tech is smart. Blockchain's the future, but there's scammers out there. But it's like, wait a minute. It doesn't actually make any sense. Like, it doesn't beat a database. And this video was the first to kind of call out the bullshit. And I just thought it was really, really impressive. And I respect it a lot. I respect this video so much. Art of the Choke. Why 97% of Namibia is empty. This is a great clip.
Should someone have to have a government-issued license to drive a car?
Hell no.
What's next? Requiring a license to make toast in your own damn toaster?
The license to drive? You know, I'd like to see some competency exhibited by people before they drive.
That's an all-time great clip, bro. That's an all-time great clip. It's not parody. No, that's real. That really happened in America. They booed him for saying that. I'd like to see some competency. That's hype. Yeah, any of these stand out? I think it's time for community. Yeah, I'm gonna jump over. The Simpsons steamed hams recreated under the Northern Lights. Kind of have to see that, obviously.
Well, Seymour, I made it, despite your directions. Ah, Superintendent Chalmers, welcome. I hope you're prepared for an unforgettable luncheon. Yes.
Oi, guards! My roast is ruined.
But what if I were to purchase fast food and disguise it as my own cooking? Delightfully devilish, Seymour.
Skinner with his crazy explanations. The superintendent's gonna need his medication. When he hears Skinner's lame exaggerations, there'll be trouble in town tonight.
Seymour! Superintendent, I was just stretching my calves on the windowsill. Isometric exercise. Care to join me?
Why is there smoke coming out of your oven, Seymour?
Ooh, that isn't smoke, it's steam. Steam from the steam clams we're having. Mmm, steam clams. Ooh.
Insane amount of effort.
Superintendent, I hope you're ready for mouth-watering hamburgers.
I thought we were having steamed clams.
Oh, no, I said steamed hams. That's what I call hamburgers.
You call hamburgers steamed hams?
Yes, it's a regional dialect.
Uh-huh. What region?
Upstate New York.
Really? Well, I'm from Utica, and I've never heard anyone use the
it's not a
phrase
Utica
steamed
thing.
hams.
Oh, not in Utica, no. It's an Albany expression.
I see. You know, these hamburgers are quite similar to the ones I have at Krusty Burger.
Oh, Patented Skinner Burgers. Old family recipe.
For steamed hams.
Yes.
Yes, and you call them steamed hams despite the fact they are obviously grilled.
Yeah, you know, the one thing I should... Excuse me for 1 second.
Of course.
Oh, that was wonderful. Good time had by all. I'm pooped.
Yes, I should be. Good Lord, what is happening in there?
Aurora Borealis?
Aurora Borealis! At this time of year, at this time of day, in this part of the country, localized entirely within your kitchen.
Yes.
May I see it?
Yes.
Oh, a twist. It's beautiful. The good ending. Wow, the rare good ending of the steamed hams. Wow, that'd be cool to go to in real life. I've never seen Aurora Borealis. You can see it from where you live. It's very beautiful. Yeah, it looks beautiful.
Seymour, the house is on fire!
No, Mother, it's just the Northern Lights.
Well, Seymour, you're an odd fellow, but I must say, you steam a good ham.
Help! Help!
Well, that was worth it. And we got smarter for that one, sure. Guys, I think I'm going to jump over to Community now. Thank you for watching. We're going to watch an episode of Community, one of my favorite shows that we've been watching on this channel. They've been releasing all their episodes on YouTube as part of promotion for their upcoming movie, the Community movie. So we are currently in the middle of season 3, and we'll be watching an episode entitled I have work in 5 hours, but I can't sleep. Bro, you should go to sleep. You're every hour you wait to go to sleep, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it hard. 5 hours is enough to get a little bit of refresher. I would try, bro. I would give it a God's honest. I've been there. Big A Taker Jordan, you made you a stream intro? You made me a stream intro in my Twitter DMs. What? Oh. Look at this. It's kind of hype. Wait, this is kind of sick as hell.
Your first destination is Dizzy Heights. You must retrieve the ghost.
Well, he's the good at Hexagon.
Oh my god, and you can skip?
Once was a ball with a baby and the color of the ball.
Holy
was green,
you
see. The ball went fast.
Hey, let's
and it
talk.
rolled to the end, so roll my
Might
monkey
end up
ball.
using this and we can get you paid. Let's talk. I'll respond to your DM. I might have to put you in touch with Pay though. We'll see. Anyway, that's very cool. Thank you for poking me a bit because I wouldn't have noticed. Oh wow, you worked at Ubisoft. You were a mission designer on BioShock 4? Jesus Christ. That's badass. That's badass, bro. All right, you got my follow, bro. All right, we'll talk more. BioShock Infinite. Yeah, Infinite. Okay,